So I am Peter Clyde, and Lazels is my company. I run it with my wife, Kayla Clyde, and we make jigsaw puzzles out of titanium primarily, and the concept is jigsaw puzzles made like jewelry.
And how long?
Oh yeah, about 3 years now, I think. A little longer with the R&D before I announced everything, but yeah.
Were you doing something to continue to do jigsaws before that, or just metalwork or anything like that?
Yeah.
How did you get into this?
So before jigsaw puzzles, I was an electrical engineer, and my background was miniaturization of technology. So making like cell phones denser or like satellites smaller. Basically, anytime someone was trying to cram as much technology into something, that was kind of my niche.
And then you try to cram as many
Yeah,
pieces into
and that kind of worked out. When I was a kid, I really wanted to be a jeweler, but I also wanted to be the metal worker. Like, I just didn't really know. And then I ended up going to school for engineering, and now I'm kind of back to my roots.
So what inspired the transition from engineering to making puzzles?
Yeah, so as an engineer, I struggled because I wanted everything to look like art, and that's not always the most time efficient way, because sometimes it's functional even if it's ugly. So I really wanted to make my own art and have like everything I created be the standard that I wanted it to be, and to be in control of that. I really love problem solving and inventing new things, and I can always make a puzzle and it'll always be a puzzle, and no one questions if a puzzle's a puzzle. You always know, I don't know, it's an endless oasis of creative brainstorming. So.
That makes sense.
So what is your favorite part of making these? And then what is your least favorite?
My favorite part is not knowing what I'm doing next. I always have like something in my head to like think about, or like what I want to do or what I want to try. I just always really like trying new things and inventing new techniques. It's just super fun. And then my least favorite thing is doing the same thing over and over again. So that's that's why it's kind of a self-fulfilling interest. One of the reasons we do limited releases is because I want to have a chance to make a new design. So once I get to like, we usually sell a few hundred of each design. Once I get to the last one, I'm like, okay, I'm ready for doing another design. So.
What do you think is the favorite of all your designs that you have done so far?
My favorite one is always the one I haven't made yet. So, and I feel like I have to. If I ever change that, then I'll like. I don't know. That's why I'm always excited if I think of it.
We got that answer a couple times from the puzzle makers.
Oh,
I
cool.
feel like it's always like the one that they haven't made yet.
Yeah.
I'm sure that must be the reason that inspires you to move on to the next design, because you're so excited about it.
Yeah. It's.
But this is your latest design?
Yeah. So this is my latest one. I'm not sure if it'll autofocus, but
No.
Yeah. So this is based on a book plate illustration, and I'm not sure if the light catches it, but it's essentially animated for the engraving, so there's different sections that light up at different angles. And then I taped the back, but the piece density is about the same as my stamp puzzles that I've done, but it's more pieces, so it's 382 pieces, and then the stamp puzzles were a little bit hard, but they weren't as many pieces, so I wanted to make it a little easier. So each of the interlocking features has it's one of three types. It's a single or a double or a triple, and each one of them is drawn by hand individually, so the chances of false fits should be pretty low, and also just the ability to visually find it by piece. But
I mean, I can tell when there's a false fit in your puzzle because it feels wrong, and when it feels right, it just fits so beautifully.
Yeah.
So the effort you've put into hand drawing has not gone to waste. I think it's well worth the trouble.
Thanks. Yeah, definitely. I think I spent like a week drawing this one because it's like every little aesthetically it had to look good. Like, and I didn't do like a perfect grid. It's actually a slightly off grid, so it just took forever.
I think it makes it at least a little more solvable.
Yeah, it was fun though. I mean, I think the problem it took so long was I was enjoying it.
How can that be bad?
Yeah. Yeah, and then the center part, I was trying out new texturing, so I came up with like a brushed effect. So it kind of glints in the sun, either like purple or blue, and it's all anodized to like a purplish blue.
It's a beautiful color.
Thank you.
All your puzzles are gorgeous.
So are you working on, I guess you probably can you talk about the design that you have coming up?
Yeah. So I've got a design I'm working on now. I don't know if it's coming out next, because sometimes like right at last minute I'll switch to something that I was thinking about like 7 puzzles before. But there's an illustration from a really old book. It's a children's book actually, and I own one of the original copies. And it's pretty cool. It's actually kind of a fantasy genre. But it's very unique. I can't give you any more spoilers. But,
Are you usually inspired by illustrations that you've seen, or other like you've done a couple stamp ones?
Yeah.
So you like stamps as well, I assume. But also, like, where do you get your inspirations for your images and stuff?
Yeah, my favorite thing right now is like public domain art. You know, if it's old enough, it counts as public domain. But for me, I really like public domain art that I can own, like original copies of. So that kind of narrows the category a lot. But old illustrations, like book plates. That was a book plate that I own the original of. Stamps I don't own the originals of, but for those I was kind of excited about using a stamp because it's a really great platform for a tiny image. Because that was their focus when they drew the art. But yeah, I think old illustrations from old books, like 100 years ago, roughly, are kind of my favorite right now. I also like the abstract stuff, like the flare. There's no like graphic on it, which is kind of a gradient.
The gradient one, it was maybe my favorite of yours that I ever put together.
Oh yeah.
Would you ever consider doing another gradient?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I didn't want to do too many gradients, but I'll probably do at least one like a year or something like that.
Because I think the first one you did was the one you were doing the limited runs of 100.
Yes,
and
that's
that's
true.
really hard to find now, and
Yeah.
I regret never.
Yeah,
getting it.
that one I hammered by hand,
Oh, yeah,
like
that's
so
right.
it was like actually kind of a lot of hammering, but I don't know if I'll hammer the next one, but it's also for me I like trying new techniques, so it's like for the gradient ones it's a really great platform for me to try completely new things because it can look totally different, and then color is the theme, so I can really work with it, and every year can be different. So it's.
I really appreciate how we both have alpine, but our colors are completely different.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think I sent you the like more blue one.
You did. I like blue, but I was a little bit jealous that hers had more orange.
Oh yeah, yeah. And if that ever happens, I can always like
No, it's
read it. Yeah.
I love mine, and I love that there was a reasoning behind the choice for mine.
Do you draw inspiration from other puzzle makers?
Yeah, definitely. The contemporary cuts, you know, there's only so many types of things you can do, but certain cutters obviously have their own interpretations of different styles, like John Stokes, and like his signature was pretty cool. That one kind of inspired like the anomaly a little bit.
Right. Yes.
The concept of doodling to like an infinite degree. That was fun. But yeah, I mean, it's with grid cuts, it's kind of interesting because there's not as many people in our space doing grids. So I've been always trying to explore like new ways of doing grids. So my own design language for grids has been fun to like see what can be done. Like the Alpine, I had I called it like the rhombus cut. So it was like staggered with like squares and rhombuses.
I noticed that this one you line it along 2 different axes.
Yeah. This one, yeah, it's kind of centering, converging to
border's
the
different.
diamond, and then the border. Oh yeah, and this one I actually learned from I don't know if it'll pick up well on there, but I learned from the crystalline puzzle, because on the crystalline puzzle you had the little Mickey Mouse pieces, and they kind of on the edges they would fall off a little bit. So that actually took me like 3 days to figure out how to have the grid cut into a border grid. I just kept redrawing it. But yeah, there's so many great cutters out there, and it's impossible not to be inspired by all the great. And coming to events like this is always great for the mind to just think of new ways of doing things.
Yeah, I'm always impressed with the innovation that happens here. Like Terry has hinges on her puzzle. And
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was saying. Like the thing I love about it is no one says that's not a puzzle. Like it's always a puzzle. Like puzzle makers can just come up with whatever they want and add it, and it's still a puzzle.
Community is very accepting. I mean, this is marketed as a wooden jigsaw puzzle
Yeah.
makers, but
Yeah, they've been
metal
so kind
puzzles,
to
I love that your puzzles are having well received here. It's awesome.
Yeah, when Anne Williams said we could come, I was like, oh, that's so great, thank you.
I'm not even a maker, but I'm having a wonderful time here.
Yeah, this is great.
Talking of our appreciation, thank you for coming.
Oh,
on our
thank
show
you.
and
Oh, great.
spending time with
Awesome.
us.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Do you have anything you want to add or talk about?
I guess did you explain like how so like the puzzles, how they're released?
Oh no.
Yeah.
Can
So
you explain it?
yeah, so for me I have everything through a limited drop, so that way I can focus on one design at a time, and then I can actually finish that design, so then I have more time to do more design. So to me it was balancing design time with crafting time, so that's why we do it that way. But basically how it works is we send out a text to be invited to the drop, and you get the password, and then we sell it for an hour, and then we don't sell that design ever again. So that's how it works.
You gotta get it, or you have to get it on eBay later.
But it's well worth it.
Yep.
Well, thank you guys.
Thank you.